Over the years, our family's had a share of health problems.
So prescriptions are a part of our life.
Before we went to the big box store.
We both thought it would help us save. But with the long lines and impersonal service, filling prescriptions became a chore. That's when a friend recommended D&H.
Now Tristan knows our prescriptions. Brenda always helps us find the right vitamins. And after Dad's fall, Monica's been a real expert with all our home medical needs. All without the lines.
Trust and service.
That's our D&H.
Good morning and welcome to Radio Friends on Thursday, May 21st. We have with us Val Germann, and Val is going to tell us about what we can see in the skies over the next couple of days. Good to have you here, Val. Central Missouri Astronomical Association. And there's really some pretty exciting stuff happening, right?
Yes, there are. In fact, over the next several weeks, a spectacle that has not been seen in more than 50 years.
What's that?
Planets Venus and Jupiter are almost going to touch from our vantage point in late June.
But not really touching.
Not really touch.
That would be a cataclysmic event if they actually touch. But
we'd be hearing about that for years to come.
Yeah.
Yes.
But when we look up into the sky at nighttime or in the morning?
Well, this is right as it's starts to get dark in the evening. It's a supper time event. Mm-hmm. You go outside as it's getting dark in the evening, and you will see these two planets right now. It's kind of starts now. They're close enough together they call attention to themselves. Mm-hmm. And every day for the next, 6 weeks or so, they're going to get closer every day.
What part of the sky do we look at?
In the west.
Look to the western sky.
Yes.
Okay, right about after sunset, a little bit after sunset?
A little after, say 30 minutes after sunset. This is kind of mid-evening now since it's daylight time.
Yeah.
And you will not miss them.
Okay. We've got some pictures. You're listening on the radio, but you want to see these, go to KBIA.org and watch the vodcast. Click on Radio Friends and watch the vodcast. But let's go to the first picture and paint a picture with words here.
Well, now this, I took this picture about a month ago. This is the moon and Venus, and they're going to appear this way again.
Okay.
In fact, tomorrow night and the next night, and then a month from now, right as this event happens, we'll have the moon next to Venus again.
Okay,
and
so we've got the crescent moon. We've got
Yeah.
the crescent moon and Venus in this picture.
Yes, and when people driving down I-70 toward Kansas City, they will not miss this.
Okay,
I will get phone calls.
The two brightest objects, the moon and Venus.
Yeah, and they'll be above the road. People will call me off I-70 on their cell phones. What am I looking at? Venus is that dramatic, and soon Jupiter will join in, and I'm going to get a lot more phone calls.
Okay, let's look at the next picture. This is
Jupiter through a telescope. This picture was taken by a friend of mine, Doug Niffen, over in Warren County, about 4 weeks ago.
And you can see the red spot on Jupiter.
Right.
This is looking through a telescope where? Here in Columbia?
In Warren County, just east of here, about 70 miles.
And what are the two white spots that we're seeing to the side of Jupiter?
Those are Jupiter's moons Io and Europa.
And you can actually see those through the telescope.
Right. This view right here, we can show this in our telescope here at Laws.
You can see the red spot and all the stripes on Jupiter.
Oh, yeah.
That's amazing.
Oh, yeah.
The next picture.
Well, now the reason I brought these two images is that this image is a simulation of what it's going to look like on 2 nights from tonight. May 23rd is what I got set this for. It's Saturday night?
Yeah.
Actually, Saturday evening, looking west, you will see the crescent moon. That's the first thing you'll notice up there. And just to the right will be Jupiter, and then right below them will be Venus. All three will be in the same part of the sky. In fact, tonight, tomorrow night, and then Saturday night.
Okay, so Saturday night will be the best viewing of it, would you say?
Probably because they are the closest, but all 3 nights, tonight, tomorrow night, Saturday night, it's very impressive.
So go out after sunset, you'll see the crescent. Is it going to be a crescent moon?
Crescent moon, a beautiful crescent moon.
And you will see Venus and Jupiter and
the moon.
The moon.
And they will be the brightest things up there. Now, the reason to start now is because Jupiter and Venus are going to rapidly close up, get closer together, and that is going to be noticeable. You'll be able to see this from day to day.
That they've moved closer together.
You look up there and you go, they look closer, and that's because they are closer. And the next image is from June 6th, and they have closed up quite a bit. And
Now, let me
this
ask
view
you
right
this.
here, people will be called. I'll get phone calls starting about this time.
When you say is it an illusion? Is it an illusion that they are closer, or are they actually moving closer?
They appear closer to us.
They appear closer to us, but they are not physically moving closer.
No, they're not. Venus is on our side of the solar system about 80 million miles away. Jupiter's on the other side, about 420 million miles away. So, but Jupiter is so huge that it reflects so much light that it's almost as bright as Venus, even though it's 5 times farther away.
Mm-hmm. So what we're seeing is really an illusion.
It's an illusion.
It's a
yes.
spectacular illusion.
Yes, and it used to worry the ancient world. They would think, what if they collide? What will happen? Well, they don't collide.
Right. They're millions of miles apart.
Right.
We've got another picture here. Okay. What is this?
June 29th, and for about 3 days, around June 29th and 30th, this will be the most dramatic sight for many years. These 2 planets are the 2 brightest of all the planets.
Will they look like they're almost touching?
You'll be at that one for about 24 hours, starting about this time on June 29th. The glare, the glare will almost be like an oval shape. They will almost combine.
If you're looking at them through a telescope or through binoculars, is it going to look any different?
Yeah, that will be absolutely amazing.
Okay. So keep your eyes on the western sky from now through June the 29th.
Yeah.
And weather permitting, if we have clear skies a little bit after sunset, you should see some pretty bright objects in the sky to the west.
I don't think anyone will forget that it sees it.
Okay.
Ever.
Is there anything else? We're about out of time, Val. Anything else coming up?
Well, our observatory at Laws is open at the top of the physics building all summer long, 8 to 10. And we have great views of the campus and the city and things like that.
Well, we got a picture up here right now.
This is a view of Jesse Hall in the sun. I took this picture last summer. Spectacular sunsets, free to the public, 8 o'clock till 10 o'clock. Every Wednesday evening.
All right, and there's one picture left, and this is what?
This is Messier 5, a star cluster that I took this picture through our telescope, and we can show this like this.
This is a star cluster how far away?
25,000 light years.
So when you say 25,000 light years, how many millions, is that fair to ask you? How many millions of miles?
How many miles is that? That is 62,000 times 25 million miles away.
Again, 62,000
times 25,000 million miles, however many that is.
That's a long way off.
It's a lot of zeros.
So when you're looking into the telescope and you're seeing that light is
25,000 years old.
Yeah.
It's been on the road for 25,000 years.
How old is the light we're seeing from Jupiter?
45 minutes.
45 minutes.
Very
and the sun
fresh.
is 8.5 minutes.
The sun is 8.5 minutes.
Okay. Val Germann, thank you so much for coming by. Always a pleasure to have you here.
Thanks.
Tomorrow, State Historical Society. Our program is directed by Travis McMillen of the Reynolds Journalism Institute. Audio is Pat Akers from KBIA. Our floor director, Lowell Thomas, and our assistant producer and guest coordinator, Uncle James Mauser. If you want to watch this, you really should go to kbia.org, sign up for a free podcast or podcast. Bye-bye.